Hi,
We're
Samantha
and
Kelly
from
Fabulous
Adventures.
Travel.
Travel.
I just said that.
But you have all the good words. I have we're and from. Let's switch.
But I have all the good words. Do you like Friends, the TV show? If you do, we are doing a Friends cruise. On what date?
June 25th, 2025.
Oh my gosh. So join us. We are doing a Friends themed cruise and we are so excited about all the super fun things that we're going to do. And we want you to join us. So call us, contact us at Fabulous Adventures Travel Company and join us on the Friends themed
Cruise.
That's my word. No, just kidding. Bye. See you there. Bye.
And then the next day was C Day. We did Loteria, which is normal. We did Chocolate, which was really cool. So if you get chocolate, it was really cool. It was fun, right?
Yeah.
I know we're like buzzing over here.
Making sure it's not my children.
I'm like, we're buzzing like crazy over here. So you make chocolate basically, and they explain all about the chocolate. So when you first walk in, I'll try and make it fast. Obviously, when you first walk in, they give you a drink, and it was bourbon or was it whiskey?
Bourbon.
It was bourbon, but it was actually sweet, and I don't usually like bourbon, and I have to say I enjoyed the drink. When I got down to the bottom of it, I was like, oh, it's even better at the bottom. So whatever was in there that they stuck in there was so sweet that they made the bourbon so sweet, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good.
It was good.
I don't think bourbon will still ever be my choice of drink, but it was good. And then they explained chocolate and how it works. I have to heat it up, blah, 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 blah. And then we had all these toppings. So we had nuts.
Raisins.
I always forget the raisins. The chocolate.
Little chocolate
balls.
Waffle
Salt.
cone.
Waffle cone. Is that it?
Rice Krispies.
Oh, Rice Krispies. That was a big one.
Yeah. I think that was it.
Yeah.
And different kinds of nuts.
Yeah, tons of different kinds of nuts, but not cashews. The only ones I'll eat. I won't eat almonds. I won't eat regular peanuts. Cashews are the only ones I'll eat. None of them are cashews. Fine, whatever. So I ended up making a mixed nut and giving it to everyone, so because I was not eating it. But so then they taught us to make these little discs of chocolate and then to put our little toppings on them. We made like 6 of those, right? Mm-hmm. And then they said, okay, we had a big bowl, and they're like, put whatever you want, nuts, Rice Krispies, whatever you want to put in the bowl, and then squeeze a lot of your chocolate in there, and then mix it all up, and then put it in scoops to make like these like clusters is what I want to call them. Like they were high and clustery. They told us the names of them, but I guess we got to go back a second time to have that one stick. Chocolate, yeah. And that was our first thing of the day. We didn't even do Loteria before that. That was our first thing. And I had actually started with mimosas that day because it's our C day. So I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'll do mimosas this morning. So I might have not remembered some things. But anyways, so we did that, and then they take it from you and they put it in the fridge, and then they talk about then they gave us bonbons. They actually made bonbons with fillings in them.
Oh my gosh, they were so good.
Oh my God, that was so good. I was like, can we have more of those? Those are fantastic.
They were really good.
So it had caramel in the middle, and it was just chocolate on the outside and caramel in the middle. The chocolate was very, 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 how do you explain it? Like, it wasn't dark though. That's the weird thing. It was milk, but it had, and I don't want to say it was milk. That's what I want to say. It was definitely browner than dark chocolate. So it had a milk chocolate look to it, but it did not taste like milk chocolate. It was very, how do we explain it? It was harsh. Like it was not, I wouldn't say it was the best. Let's start there. But it was still good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So then they bring you back your chocolates and they tell you got to eat them all right then and there because you can't take them out. We were like, I'm sorry, what? I mean, when I tell you there was like 12 chocolates on your plate, you're like, how am I who's eating all these chocolates? So they wouldn't let you take them out. They said it was some sanitary thing.
Yep, against the rules.
And I was like, wait, what? So we come back and Anthony's like, did you make any chocolate? We're like, we did, but we can't give you any because we couldn't take it. I mean, it was so weird.
It was weird.
So, and then also while you were eating your chocolate, they gave you a Cabernet red wine, which was nice because it actually paired well. And I don't like red wine. I don't even like wine at all. But drinking that and the chocolate, I was like, oh, okay, I could do this. Yeah. This I could do. Because I think wine's so dry, I just don't like it. I'm a sweet person, but the chocolate was it wasn't sweet. It's so hard to explain. It was like a dark chocolate, but almost bitter. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because, like, I even squeezed it in my mouth. Like, I was like, ooh. Because listen, I want to be in the chocolate fountain, literally, like, licking it all the time. So I was like this, squeezing this thing in my mouth. And I take a squeeze of it. And I was like, what the heck is that? Like, I was like, where's the Hershey's? I was like,
That would have been too easy.
right? I was like, oh my God, where is the Hershey's? I was like, can I have some milk with this chocolate? I want some milk in there. But no, it was still good. Once we put all the stuff in it, it actually was really good. I mean, listen, I think I only had 3 pieces left, so it couldn't have been that bad. But then we did Loteria, right?
Yep.
What else? That's all we did on C Day? Well, I had a foot massage in the morning. I don't know if I mentioned that. I did do that. And then we did, I think that's all we did.
No. We went to
is?
brunch. We went to the wake.
Oh, we did. That's right.
Chocolate and
Yes.
Loteria.
Yes, we did that on purpose. And we had filet, and we had fillet and
I had
eggs.
a hanger steak.
Oh, you had hanger steak?
Mhm.
Okay, so I had fillet and eggs, and it was good.
So tip, if you do go to the wake at 11:45 or later, you're going to get the lunch menu, which includes the filet and a hanger steak. So
good.
yeah, you're basically having lunch, not brunch.
Yeah. It was so good.
If you want steak, good steak,
yeah, good steak.
go at 11:45
100%.
or later.
It was so good. The filet was good with the eggs. It was really good. And then we went to Loteria. And then every night, because we were rock stars, every night, which is very rare for us.
It was very rare. We did go every
night we went to Richard's Rooftop for the happy hour. So Virgin, don't get rid of that because we like it.
Yes. It's so nice because you get not only to get up there and have a drink, but just to sit and just
Chill.
relax.
Yes.
Because there's not a lot of people up there.
No.
Even when you consider all of the rock stars on the sailing, I don't think everybody goes.
No.
I mean,
We saw the same people every night.
We did. We hardly go because we're always so busy. And especially when we're mega. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just have someone bring us a drink.
yeah. So we
I can
hardly
see
go.
that.
But this time we went every night and we just sat and just chilled for an hour and just had them keep bringing us drinks.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. So if you're a rock star, take advantage of that.
Yeah. I agree.
I got in the hot tub for the first time.
Yeah, you did get in the hot tub for the first time. I don't think I've ever been in the hot tub. You pulled a Nicole. You were like chilling in the hot tub. Like
I
Nicole.
was chilling in the hot tub. I don't know. We were in our bathing suits because we just got back from port. So I was like,
It's the one that we barely made
Yep,
it, right? Yeah.
so yes, that was my first time in the hot tub on Richard's Rooftop.
We
Or on
barely
the ship.
make it back
Totally.
on the ship, right? And then what do we do to each other? We go, let's go get a drink. We needed one at that point, let's be honest. Nobody changed. Everyone was still in their bathing suits and whatever. But yeah, so that's why she was still in her bathing suit, which is very rare though. We don't go to Richard's Rooftop in our bathing suit, hardly ever. Listen, Kelly and I are very rarely in our bathing suit ever on the ship just because we don't go to the pool.
Right.
We're always doing something else. Anyways, we did Richard's Rooftop every night. And then, so that was C Day. Then I will say one of the standouts dinners that is really coming around to both of us, which is so funny. We used to hate this restaurant, is Razzle Dazzle, right?
Yes. It is my husband's favorite.
Yeah.
He loves the
Called the
lamb shank.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
loves
what
it.
does he like there?
I brought him there for the very first time, our last sailing. Thanksgiving sailing.
Yeah.
And he was like, why have you not brought me here before?
And you're like this, because we didn't like it. They took away all the things.
On a 4-night sailing, I'm like, you have to go to Extra Virgin and Pink Agave and the Wake, Gumbay. I'm like, there's staples, right? So I'm like, I could deal without Test Kitchen and Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah.
But now it's like he wants Razzle Dazzle every time.
And that's the thing, and we're at that point too. So, and I think it's just one of those things you just had to get used to. Honestly, I just think that we're not vegetarians. The restaurant was geared towards vegetarians and vegan. So when it first came out, they have since changed it a bit, and there's way more meat options on it. But it's still vegan vegan. I hate to say it. I don't know if it's vegan friendly or not vegan friendly. I know it's vegan friendly, but I don't know if it's geared towards vegan as much as vegetarian. Definitely a vegetarian. So I will say it's still geared towards that, right? Because it's very heavy in the veggies, which is great. But there's way more meat options on there that just weren't there before, which is also great. But that night, all I had was veggie. I had the cauliflower, the hot Nashville cauliflower. I don't think they put Nashville in there, but it's hot cauliflower. And then I had the carrots. And then they had that corn pierogi.
Dumpling.
Pierogi? No.
Pierogi.
Was it pierogi?
It looked like a dumpling.
It didn't look like a dumpling, but did they call it a pierogi or did they call it a dumpling? Shoot, I can't remember.
They called it a dumpling.
Okay, well, we had the corn.
We have the menu somewhere.
We had the corn. And then we both had beets pierogi because it is called pierogi there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that's all I ate, right? Yeah, I had all veggie that night. And I don't know, did you have anything else?
No, I had a piece of my husband's lamb, which was really good.
Yeah, see, I've not had the lamb there, and I love lamb. I like lamb a
really
lot,
good.
actually. Well, I gotta try it then. So that's next on my list. Maybe next week I try the lamb. So yeah, so that's we Razzle Dazzle was a standout. We went to Gumbay twice, which is kind of hilarious. Right, randomly, I don't know why we went to Gumbay twice. I think it was on the menu, and then we did it again for. Oh no, it wasn't. But I was craving it, so we ended up going, and then it was on the menu. I mean the restaurant.
So what did we skip?
The Wake. We never went to the Wake.
That's right.
We ended up
We
at the
went
Wake
for brunch.
only for brunch. Yeah.
Which was perfect.
Yeah, it was. And honestly, the Wake though for me, like I don't know, I just didn't want a steak. And we were eating out a lot. Like we were eating on the islands, which is not normal for me. But so we ate a lot on the islands, which was cool. So the next island was Barbados. And Barbados was amazing. We ended up doing a private tour with one of our friends and clients got this private tour. We kind of jumped in theirs, and then he drove us around. We ended up going to some absolutely beautiful beaches. Holy cannoli. But the thing that I learned is that they don't really have pink beaches, according to our driver, Kimar.
Yes.
So Kimar, he goes, what do you guys want to do? I said, I want to see a pink beach. He goes, ma'am, we don't have that here. I go, it says it on TikTok, you do. And Google. And he was like, no, ma'am, it's the way that the light hits the sand. I go, well, I want to see that place where the light hits the sand. So sure enough, the first beach that he brought us to, we walk out and it's pink. Like it looks pink. It's not, but it looks it. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like it was just gorgeous. And I wish we would have stayed there, but it would have been pointless because we paid all that money for him. That beach was dead. There was nobody there. It was beautiful and just gorgeous. And then he just drove us around, told us a little history about Barbados, took us to different places, right? And I wish we would have stopped at the George Washington house, though, and I guess I could have said something, but I felt like, I don't know. Then he took us to freaking Rihanna's house. I was sick by that time because we had gone through freaking how many roads and stopping and going and over bumps, and I was in the back like, and I don't normally get motion sick, but I was like, oh my God, I gotta get out of this car. We ended up at a Rihanna's house. I was like, okay, great. And then we ended up at lunch, which was phenomenal. So someone suggested the Sea Shed to us. The Sea Shed wouldn't take us, which I thought was interesting because the place was empty. And then he goes to take us to, what was the name of the place he went to take us to? I want to call it was like a boathouse.
Fisherman's.
Oh, Fisherman's. You're right.
Fisherman's
Fisherman's
Bar?
Something like that. So he drives us by, and thankfully I wasn't the only one, but everyone else was kind of like, and I was like, thank goodness it was not me that was like, no. So then the consensus was that Samantha only eats at nice places, so they blamed me, of course. So the man was like, well, and then that was it. He didn't know what to do. So he stopped answering us, remember? Well, we had just driven by a place that looked really nice. It was called Local and Company, and I was like, let's go back to there. And I ended up calling, and they said, we'll take you. So he drove us back to Local and Company, and it was hands down. If you're in Barbados, don't miss it. It was phenomenal.
It was a great meal.
It was so good. The meal was so good. The place was so cute. It was very bohemian, very beachy. Oh my God, it was just darling. And everything was outside. There was some inside, but everything was outside. There was even spots on the beach. We didn't see that till we walked down to kind of go look at it underneath this beautiful tree with big globes. I mean, it was just, the decorations were gorgeous. And the food was phenomenal. It's all locally grown there, and created and whatnot. And it was so good. So I'm glad that we fell into that. And then, we ended up at the boatyard. Is that the name of it?
Yes.
So then we had time left, and we were like, let's go at least hang out at the beach because, we didn't get to hang out at the beach. So we end up at the boatyard.
I want to say it was $35 a person.
Ugh, God.
And we got there at like 3:00 in the afternoon, right? We had to be back on. Well, it was a late night.
It was late night, but we had
back
dinner
on board for dinner. So we're like, oh, let's just go for 2 hours. Well, $35 a person got you 2 chairs and umbrella. Great, fantastic, and a ticket for a drink. Which, I mean, the drinks were tiny.
Yeah.
And it's like rum punch. You had to pick from like their list of drinks. It wasn't just anything.
Yeah, so there's like a droplet of alcohol in there.
But
the rest
the
was
beach
juice.
was nice. I mean, I did end up getting in the water. They do have like a turtle, swim with turtles. They had a boat ride you could take. They had swings off of the dock. I actually watched these guys
did?
like,
I didn't
hold
see
on
that.
to ropes and jump off the dock.
Oh, I didn't see
and
that.
a little trampoline thing in the water. So I think if we would have gone there for the day, I think we would have been okay.
Yeah.
But just going there for like the 2 hours, and I just felt like it was not worth it for what we paid for.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was fine for what we paid for in terms of they gave us a chair. We didn't have to fight anyone for it. Didn't have to pay cash for anything. Like, it was good. But, I mean, they were yelling every so often, 10 minutes to the next shuttle to cruise, because they did take you back to the cruise, which was nice. And then, I mean, and they're yelling, Samantha, your food's done. I mean, they weren't yelling at me, but they were yelling name, Kelly, your food's done. And you're like, oh my God. It was over the loudspeaker to just go out into the beach. And then there was just random music playing. So I don't know. Just wasn't my cup of tea.
Relaxing.
No. Although I did fall asleep. I will tell you, I was out like a light. Well, this one's gotten fish jumping overhead. I was out like a light. But I don't know that it was like my idea of relaxing, but it was fine for what it was. I just wouldn't go back there because we saw everything else. I think if I didn't know what else was out there, I didn't see that beautiful beach, that the very first one that we stopped at, I would probably go to that place. But that beach that we stopped at was absolutely gorgeous. There wasn't a soul there, and it was just beautiful. And I wouldn't want to go to the other one. I mean, trust me, you're not getting a drink or anything at this beach, but you're definitely by yourself, chilling, enjoying life, enjoying the beautiful scenery. I should figure out the name of that beach.
We probably have a picture of it.
Yeah, we do. I took pictures of it. I think it was like Branson or Brandon or something, Brandon Beach or something like that. And then, so then obviously we went and ate that night, did Richard's Rooftop. That might have actually been, was that another Rose night, which is why we were rushing back?
Could have been.
Because I could see us being like, screw it.
Yeah.
Who cares where we're going to dinner? We'll just hang out here.
Yeah.
Because I would have gone back to Local and Company. Like, that's how good it was. I would have eaten there again and tried something completely different. But anyways, so then the next day was St. Lucia. We did a private catamaran with the group. So we had 80 people on board. And we also did a meet and greet. I left that out. And Sail Away. We did a meet and greet with as many people that showed up. And it was nice to see all of you or whoever showed up. It was very nice to see you and meet you face to face, which was awesome. Always. We love doing that. And so then we did a private catamaran with St. Lucia, which was fun, but it was rough. And they fed us and gave us drinks and all kinds of stuff. So it was a good time. They took us to I call it a watering hole, but it's really not. We got out and jumped and swam and people snorkeled, but Kelly thinks she saw an eel and was panicking me. She didn't tell me what it was, but she's like, okay, so how did you even say it? And I panicked. I couldn't even I
don't even think I said anything. I saw something. It was
look on her
definitely
face.
an eel because Rich saw the same thing.
No.
He did. You weren't there when he said it?
No.
Okay. He said he saw some eel. So I saw something swimming right by me that looked like a snake or something. And I was like, my face just, and she's like, what's the matter? What'd you see? What'd you see? What'd you see? I'm like, nothing. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
and I'm
gosh,
like
you guys.
starting to swim toward the boat, like kicking, because we had our little hammocks.
Oh.
So I'm kicking toward, and she's like, oh, she's freaking out.
I was
and wouldn't tell
panicking.
her.
I almost fell off my thing because I was I almost was running. Because it doesn't matter. I don't care what it is. It can be the smallest fish. I'm out of there. I know that I'm in a listen. I'm not stupid enough to know that I'm in a water with fish. Like I always say, I'm the first one to say, like, if you get bit by a shark, you were in its place. Like I understand that. Obviously, I hope that I'm going to be the small minority that, or the not the small minority that gets bit by a shark is what I should say. But like, I understand that I'm in its house, right? And so of course it's going to come near me. It doesn't mean that I want it near me. And everybody knows that it's very hard for me to get into the water and be actually in with these fish. So when she says that, I'm like,
that's why I didn't say anything. I was just like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And the hard part is all that water down there. So it's different than the Bahamas. You can see, like when we go in the water in Bimini in the Bahamas, you can literally see your toenails. Like you can see my white toenails in there. But when you go in the Bahamas or anywhere else, the water isn't as clear and you can't see. And that's when you lose me. Like I'm like, the water's pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. But I'd rather just be on the boat. So I do it because it's the right thing to do. But I'm not the best at it. So let's just say that.
Well, let's just say even after I saw that, we did stay in the water for like 20, 30
We did,
more
but I
minutes.
was still panicking. Like
Well,
anything
you also
that
had a drink, so maybe that helped.
Oh, it totally was helping because we hadn't eaten, I don't think, at that point. And it had been a while since we ate. And so I was doing good. But at that, then I said, that's it. I'm done. And I went and I held on to the ring because they threw a ring out for us because it was really wavy. So, and people were drifting off into space and all kinds of things. So I held on to that. I felt better. And so, and I also do try to keep my feet up. Like there's no dangling of the feet down. Like I'm literally like my feet are out here like this. If I'm sitting in my little floaty thing, my feet are up here. I'm holding on to them. They're not down dangling for anything to come around and be like, that looks tasty.
Let me nibble on those toes.
Yeah. No, thank you. So technically they'll get my tush before, which there's a lot of stuff there. So maybe that's going to be okay if they get that first and not my toes. Anyways, that's my thought process, which is terrible. So anyways, we go back on. They took us to see the pitons, which was nice. Pitons. Which were absolutely beautiful. And then took us back. And then we decided to go on the hunt for
Nachos.
in St. Lucia. Okay, I don't know what we're thinking. So Anthony sees this thing that says, hey guys, there's nachos here. And instead of just staying there, we ask this lady, hey, where can we get some nachos and a drink? She takes us around God knows where. We're now in the middle of the city.
She's like, go to the street and find the blue building. And we're like,
okay.
Go to the street, no blue building. Keep walking.
Yeah.
We never found the blue building.
No, there was no blue building found.
I don't know where you were putting us.
There was also no restaurant or anything found. So we ended up going back to the original restaurant where Anthony said there's nachos here, and we left it. And so we go up there, and then the woman was like, everything we ordered, she's like, oh, we don't have that. Oh, we don't have that. Oh, we don't have that. And so we looked at each other, we were all like, let's go. Mm-hmm. And we ended up leaving. I felt so bad.
Right, we all felt terrible.
I felt terrible about that. And we was like, just get back on the ship. There's nothing that literally, I'm not kidding when I say everything we asked for. She was like, oh, we don't have that. And the question was posed, well, what do you have at this point?
The only thing they did have that somebody wanted was Becky wanted that beer. And she did have the beer.
Oh, she did have the beer?
She did
have the beer. And
poor Becky.
We
were like, sorry,
Becky should have just stayed. She should have just been like, I'm staying. And been like, bye, guys. Because, it was literally like, the ship was, you could touch it. Like, the bar was right up top of the port to go into the city. And the bar was up here. And the ship was literally right. I mean, you could literally touch the ship. So, to us, it was just like, well, we'll just go back to the ship. It's right there anyway. So, we did. And we still didn't get nachos because there's no nachos on the ship. Anyway, so I don't know what we did that night. And then the next day was Antigua. And I had a foot massage that day, which was cool. And then we went to the Treehouse Beach Club, which we were a little nervous about when we pulled up because getting to the Treehouse Beach Club was a little weird. And we weren't sure and then it looked like it was somebody's backyard when they dropped us off. But then it's all enclosed. And when you open this gate, it is like another really cool bohemian beachy place. It was beautiful. And it was really, really nice, honestly. There was these beds, and if you get on one of the beds, it's like a cabana, and they have these big beds. If you get a bed, you have to spend $100 while you're there. So drinks, food, whatever, and it's doable, and it's so you can just spend whatever while you're there. And so that's what we did. It was so much fun. We just chilled there and got rained on and slept and went in the water. You could see better in that water. We stayed in the water for a long time.
Yeah, we did.
We stayed in the water for a long time, but it was also that whole trip was very rocky and windy. So I'm sure there are times that it's super calm, but it was not for us, which is fine. I mean, we did fine, but and then we left there and went back, and I walked through the city a little bit and found Anthony, and then Anthony and 2 new people, which was fun. And then we got back on the ship, and that was it. Then, but the next day was what?
St. Martin.
Oh, St. Martin. So St. Martin, I was very excited because we had booked a Virgin excursion. I was very, very excited about this. And it was called what? America's Cup Sailing. America's Cup Sailing?
America's Cup
Sailing. Oh, God.
Sailing experience.
America's Cup Sailing Experience? Okay. So we were so excited about it. We talked about, I want to say that her name was Manisha. Please forgive me if that was your name and I'm totally messing it up. But she was part of the Shore Things on Resilient Lady. Super, super nice girl. She was telling us how you can sail the boat. You can do a boat sailing thing, like actually run the boat to sail it. Or you can just do it like a party and just hang out and watch everyone else run around like chickens with their heads cut off trying to sail the boat. But I wanted to actually sail the boat, like in a race, like be part of the race, right? And do the thing and pull the levers, like whatever it is that you're supposed to do. I don't even know. When you're sailing.
We're going to learn.
Yes. And so I was very excited about this. Well, literally the night before, they sent us a message that said, sorry, so sorry, it's being canceled. And we were like, what? So they canceled it because of weather, which I'm not shocked about because the weather just wasn't good the entire time. I mean, the sun was out. It wasn't raining or anything, but like just was windy and rocky everywhere we went. So, they canceled it and we're like, ugh, we're regrouping. What are we going to do? So I looked up Day Pass and Morgan Resort had a cabana. It was a beautiful cabana. But the Morgan Resort was over by the airport. Now I've never been at that beach, and St. Martin's known. St. Martin, if you don't know, is the place where the airplanes fly really low over the beach and everyone stands there and goes, ah, while the planes fly over your head. Or when they take off, the jet propulsion, I guess, pushes you backwards and into the water and all the way to St. Lucia. I don't know. So
we missed that part.
We did. Don't even get me started on that. So I was very excited that it was actually, because it wouldn't be my choice of things to do. Like if I had a choice and I was like, what am I going to do with myself? Got to go there. The happenstance of actually going there made me excited, but I don't know that I would make the effort to go there. Would you have made the effort to go there? No, we both would have probably chose something else. So what happened was Morgan Resort happened to be literally
right now. We walked from there to the beach. So
it was crazy, right next to it. So we get in this van, just random taxi van. The guy takes us and a bunch of people that were going to the beach to experience this to Morgan Resort. And so we go, and it took us, 45 minutes? 45 minutes. And the traffic was kind of meh, but it took us a little bit, and we knew that it took that long. Fine. So we, ching, ching, put that in your brain. Know when you have to leave. Okay, fine. So we get there as we're going through. You have to go really slow because literally this beach is filled with people. And I think I was in so much awe. I'm not sure I even filmed that. Like just the amount of people standing there to watch these planes going overhead. It was so weird to me. And you have to drive super, super slow. And there's actually sand all over the street, probably from the planes taking off and blowing the sand everywhere. So anyways, as we were coming through there and going past the runway, a Delta plane went right over us like that. And it was so cool. So I was like, all right, cool. We experienced it. Awesome. Perfect. I started to get that like feeling where I was like, okay, I'm already here. Maybe I should really experience it like right there, like actually experience it. So we realized it's getting close to time. Morgan Resort was great, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful. I highly suggest it. Actually, staying there would be great too, by the way. If you go to St. Martin, it looks like a great resort to stay in. The pool was awesome. Pool was really cool. Super beautiful.
There's no beach though. So if you want to go for a beach, there's no beach.
Yeah, well, the only beach you'd have to go to is that very, 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 very busy one where the planes fly over.
That beach is tiny.
It is tiny, and I don't know how nice it really is.
I don't know.
So, but I'm sure you can get to another beach, but there is no beach there, like Kelly said. She's right. So it gets to the time. We had a really nice time. We eat nachos at Morgan Resort, and we say, okay, let's go. I wanted to stop at the sweet shop, which was right next door to the resort. And then I was like, maybe we just go experience it one time. And silly us, we had time that we were monitoring this one airplane, this huge jumbo jet. What was it, Air France or something? Mm-hmm. We were monitoring. It was supposed to come in and we were like, we're not going to have enough time to pay the bill, get out of here and go by the beach. So instead, we end up standing there waiting, which was stupid. So you can see from the Morgan Resort, these huge planes come in. You can see everything from the Morgan Resort, but it's not the same. I was like, if I'm ever going to be here, let's just go experience it and do it. So we end up over there, but now it's an hour and a half out. So we end up over there and we're like, okay, let's experience this. Well, we get over there and there's a United Airlines waiting to take off. It's first right there, ready to go. And we see this plane coming in. We're like, okay, it's going to come in and it's going to take off. All right, perfect. So the plane comes in and we all go like this. We're like, and nothing. So then someone all of a sudden goes, nope, no, there's another coming in. So we turn around and we see this another plane on approach. We're like, oh my God, come on. So that one goes, it comes in. We're like, okay, nothing. Then someone else yells again, another one coming. We're like, no, what is happening? 5 planes, five of them land in this time that we're standing there. Okay. And we're looking at United and we're like, United, time for you to go. You're all set up to go. No, not moving. Freaking thing's not moving. So another plane comes in, another plane's in. It's now an hour until we have to be back. And so we're like, we got to go. And everyone's panicking, right? Everyone's like, gotta go. So we go, we end up getting out of this beach. I'm bummed. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. When I walk away, this United plane's going to take off. Nope, it didn't. So that made me feel a little better. But anyways, we get to the taxi stand. And there's no taxis. And I see people still standing there waiting. And I'm like, hey, how long have you been waiting here? They're like, a while. Nothing's coming. I'm seeing these people, these taxis coming into this. It was like, it was almost like a parking lot, mm-hmm. right? They're coming into this parking lot with a arm and leaving. And I'm like, why aren't they picking these people up? So I start walking over to them because I'm like, we ain't got time for this. I ain't got time to wait for these people to find their freaking taxi. We need a taxi. So I just start walking up to people and I'm like, hey, are you a taxi? And the guy's like, I don't even know what the first guy said to me. I was like, but aren't you? It says right on your thing that you're a taxi. What are you doing? So I was like, I had no patience for this. Well, this guy comes in. He's definitely a taxi. He comes in, but out walks this group of 4 people. And they're like, I was like, hey, are you a taxi? They're like, yeah, but he's ours. And I was like, okay, well, can you fit us? Like, we're a bunch of people. Like, can you fit us in there? And they're like, well, yeah, I guess we can, but I don't know. Can you fit? I don't know. And I'm like, well, I don't own the taxi. He couldn't figure out whether or not we fit. So then he's like counting seats. He's counting us. And then he's like, okay, but you have to sit in the back. And I was like, oh, crap. Kelly swore she was not sitting in the back because on the way out here, she was like dead because it was so hot. And she was like, I'm not sitting in the back again. So I'm like, oh gosh. And he's like, you have to sit in the back because these couples are going to sit in the front. And I'm like, at this point, I will sit in the back. I don't care what, you can put me on the rooftop. I just need in this freaking car so that you can start getting me back to the ship. Because even the people that were waiting at the taxi cab, they were not coming. They were still there. And at this point, it's an hour. And I'm like, crap, we only have 45 minutes. Like, we knew it was a 45-minute ride based on the way we got there. And only because of traffic. And it's not a true 45-minute ride. So had the traffic been great, it would have been 20 because that's the way I'd looked it up when I'd looked up the resort. It said 20 originally. So anyways, he shoves us in, puts everyone in. I mean, we're locked in this thing. We're locked and loaded at this point. And the couples turn around. They're like, oh, what time do you need to be back on the ship? And we were like, 4:30. They're like, wait, what? And we were like, yeah. And they're like, that's an hour. And we're like, yeah, aren't we going to make it? They're like, no. We were like, what do you mean no?
They didn't have to be back until 5:30 and they were leaving thinking they didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
So with that right there, before we even left, got us all in
out of the parking lot, by the way.
Yeah. That was rough.
That's where we were panicking. So we had a little bit to drink at this point. So I sober up literally instantly. I actually sobered up honestly instantly as soon as I realized we weren't getting a taxi. That was it. I was sober and I was on the hunt for a taxi. So we get in this, thankfully by the grace of these lovely people that we won't know their names ever because we literally ran out the door and they let us because of the fact that they knew what was happening. we start to go and the traffic is horrific, and it's probably what we come to the conclusion is probably because 5 planes have landed and all of those people have gotten off the planes and they're now in taxis trying to get out around the airport. So we're like at a dead stop at the airport, like just crawling, if we're even doing that. 20 minutes goes by and we're not past the airport, and I'm panicking, and Kelly goes, I gotta pull up Waze. So you pull up Waze, that's the name of it, right? You pull up Waze and she's like,
at that point, it said we were going to get there at like 10 to 5, 4:50, when our all aboard was at 4:30. It said 4:50.
And so she tells me this, and I'm panicking, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I write my Rockstar agent, and I was like, hey, we're not going to make it. Is there any way that you can hold the ship for us? And she writes back and goes, where are you? And I was like, well... It's like, we're literally by the airport and haven't moved. And she's like, okay, well, who's with you? So I gave her the room numbers of who was with us. And I said, here's the cabin numbers. And I said, can you please hold the ship? So she's like, let me find out and I'll get back to you. So she says, we'll hold the ship for you for a few minutes, but please hurry up, was what she said. So in my head, a few minutes is 10 to 15 minutes. I know most people would say a few minutes is 4, but in my head, I mean, I could go back and read what the actual message said, but it didn't give me a specific time she was going to hold it. But I was like, I pictured 10 to 15 minutes because I figure you can roll up the plank. I call it a plank. You can roll up the plank in 15 minutes and still be out at 5 o'clock, which is what the time was, right? That we were supposed to be pushing back. So I say to everyone, I think we just got 10, 15 minutes. Well, we end up stopping, dead stop again. We finally get around the airport. We're moving a little bit and bam, we stop again. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And now we're like miles back. Well, come to find out it's the drawbridge that stopped us on the way out, but it wasn't as bad. And we're sitting there. Well, the lady in the front is like yelling, but nicely. She's not being mean. She's like, hey, can you get us forward more? Like these people are going to miss she just kept peppering this guy. She was nice. So please know that she was very nice. She wasn't mean about it. She's like, but can you do this? Can you do that? Can you get us a police escort? She's like, please get us a police escort. We need a police. They're never going to make their ship. And she is just hammering this poor guy in a nice way again. And so this poor guy, I mean, he said not 2 words the entire time. Like really, like he said nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was way in the back, so I have no idea, but he said not but 2 words the whole time. And so she just kept hammering him. Well, he ends up getting out of the line because no one's coming this way because remember the drawbridge is up. So he gets into the other lane and he just passes 80 cars. And not at like a small, slow speed. He is flying past them. And I'm like, okay, is he going to stop before we get to the actual like bridge? I'm like, are we going
fly off the bridge?
I know. I was like, oh my God, where is he going? Is we Dukes of Hazzarding this? And so he finally finds somebody that he knows that's like maybe 5 cars from the front, 5 to 8 cars from the front of the line where the drawbridge is. And he begs them to let us in. They let us in. Thank you. So then when the drawbridge goes down, we're now, what time is this? It's now 4:10 probably at this point. Well, now we've got to go up over 2 hills in order to finally get to the spot that we need to get to. Well, he is just going around people, going in here, doing everything he possibly can. He was phenomenal. So we finally come around, which is where this viral video comes in. We finally come around the thing and it's 4:27 and we need to be on board at 4:30 and the ships are literally way over there. And I was like, we are not making it. But at this point, my Rockstar agent is texting me constantly going, okay, where are you? Are you close? And I'm like, I can see the ships. I was like, but I think we're still 10 minutes out. And we were still 10 minutes out. So I was right on time with the money on that one, right on the money with that. So then he drove really fast going through all these things. So now you've got to go through this the town that used to be where you would dock and be let off here. We're going through that whole town. And then what happens is once you finally get dropped off, you're still 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how fast or slow you walk, to get to to the boat. So he drops us off. We throw money at him. I mean, I'm not kidding when I tell you, money was thrown at this man. I think a beer was thrown at him because we had beers somewhere. We thanked the Viva people. I don't even know what their names were. We know nothing about them. We're like, blah, blah, blah. There was no word said other than blah, 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 thrown things and ran. And so they were like, go, go. And they were so sweet because they were like, go, go, go. They were like, just go. And so, we start walking really fast. Well, at this point, we have to go to the bathroom because now we've been in that car for an hour and we've drank a lot of drinks. So there's some bathroom needing. And so I'm like, crap, I gotta run. So now I'm walking like this as fast as I can. Kelly's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I got flip-flops on. I gotta pee. She's like, I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I don't know. And I was like, just go. And so we're like, and so now I leave Kelly in the dust. A bunch of us leave Kelly in the dust, I will say. And she takes her shoes off at some point. She's like, I can't walk with these flip-flops on. So her shoes are off. I don't even know where. So at one point, I get up because Jamie was ahead of me. I was back here. And so I start running because we're nowhere near the ship. I start running and Jamie goes, we're doing this? I was like, we have to do this. We don't have a choice. Like if they held the ship for us, we need to make it on within that time frame that they held the ship for us. So, we get up to the little checkpoint where they check your bands or your card, and we get there and the guy literally, and we're literally like this. I mean, I'm literally going like this in his face and he's like, you're late. And I go, I literally wanted to say, no shit, Sherlock. I was like, but can just get, I go, we literally said this, we know. And we pushed him out of the way and just started running. Well, as we were running, Manisha was coming our way and she said, are you guys part of the blah, blah, blah excursion? And we said no. And at that point we were like, okay, wait. Is there an excursion that's out there that like we got lucky and totally was behind us and didn't make it either? So I don't really know that the truth of the matter, if there was an excursion behind us or not, but we made it on board. I turned around. I saw Kelly coming through through the gates. He didn't say anything to you, did he?
No.
Probably because he already yelled at us. And so Kelly's coming in. I was like, okay, we're good. They're not gonna leave. And so the minute we dinged in, I call it bloop boop. The minute we blooped in, I get a message from my Rockstar agent. She goes, you're on board. And she sent me this like exciting emoji, like you made it. So I find it funny because they were all tracking our progress. And so it was honestly, I can't thank Virgin Voyages enough for that, to be amazing in being gracious and waiting. But from what I understand, that's kind of a normal thing that people get stuck at St. Martin. So if you go to St. Martin, please leave yourself enough time, especially if you go over to that other section.
Yeah. All aboard is early. It's at 4:30 in St. Martin. So I think people probably think, well, I got time. It's, no big deal. That's what we thought. It took 45 minutes to get there. We're like, we gave ourselves an hour and a half to get back because we didn't want to have to rush through the port like once we got there. So we gave ourselves plenty of time. The traffic was awful. And if it wasn't for that cab driver that passed those
we'd still be in St. Martin.
We wouldn't have made it.
We'd still be in St. Martin. We'd still be trying to get home because we didn't have our passports with us. Because I don't take my passport with me because I get nervous that I'm not going to have it. But now that I think about it, it's better to have it in case something crazy like this happens so you can get home.
Anthony had his.
Oh, really? Yeah. Did not. Neither did the Franks.
I mean, I wasn't excited about, trying to find my way out of St. Martin. But if I had to, I could have.
Oh my God, it was crazy. So we'll never do that again. We learned our lesson. And our pro tip for you is in St. Martin, leave yourself 2 hours to not stress yourself out. But it sucks because it's a great, it was such a cool moment that we were experiencing. And I mean, listen, we didn't truly leave ourselves an hour and a half because we took that half hour to look at planes and stuff, and then we left an hour. But one would think an hour would be enough, but it just wasn't for the timing that we were in. So, and I also think it was Valentine's Day that had a lot to do with it. So yeah. So anyways, that was our craze. And that's how my video went viral. And everyone keeps talking about how, well, if you had booked the excursion through the ship. So that is a very true thing, which is what I mentioned. So a couple things to obviously talk about that. If you book an excursion through the ship, they will not leave you. If you book it on your own, they will. However, we know people, which is nice. And it worked out to our advantage in that sense. Now, I don't think Virgin's going to be holding any ships for hours, but we have seen that they have held a ship in Key West for people. Mm-hmm. Honestly, not us, but people. I've seen them running.
Close.
Yeah, close for us, but not really. We're like 2 minutes late. Because normally obviously as travel agents, and that's another thing they keep saying. They're like, well, as a travel agent, you should have known. I'm like, okay, dude, again, all of this was happenstance. It was not the fact that we, were like, we're like, we only have 5 minutes left. Can you get us back to the ship? That's not what we did. It just was the unfortunate circumstance of what it was. We just needed more time than that, way more time. But anyways, where was I going with that? Shoot, I was going to say, shoot, I forgot what I was going to say in terms of that. But it is, if you book a shore thing with them, they will not leave you. But if you book on your own, it's on your own, basically. Like, if you miss it, you miss it, which is, what happens. But I will say we have seen Key West. We've stayed a half hour past, if not more, 45 minutes a couple times. And I don't know. I'm sure it's cost them a lot of money or whatnot, but who knows? What do I know? But they stayed and waited for people, which I think is funny. Like, honestly, Key West, they should be at deuces.
Find your own way home.
Yeah, because you're in America. Have at it. Well, meet us in Miami in a couple days. You'll get your stuff. But I do think it's funny when they wait there. I mean, it's more important, I feel like, to wait in other islands if you were. But yeah, so, oh, gosh, crazy town. But yeah, we did it. I know we got to go. So we got to go because we're actually going to a ship tour tomorrow.
Heading to Miami.
Which we're very excited about. Woohoo! So with that being said, that was our amazing week.
Saint
Isles in the seas of the Caribbean. Oh, geez Louise. Maybe I shouldn't be so big. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I know it was super long. Probably, I'm assuming Ariana's probably going to put it into 2, which would be good. And maybe she'll put in some commercials because you need to join us on our Friends Cruise and our Girls Gone Cruising.
Girls Gone Cruising, September 17th.
Yeah, it's always October, but yeah.
September 17th, 2025. Friends Cruise is June 25th, 2025.
Yeah.
Join us on one or both of those.
Yes, please. All right, we'll see you next week or talk to you another time, right? I don't even know when we're coming back. All right. We'll leave you with our favorite phrase, which is, you float our boat. All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.